So let's get started. We're pleased to welcome back 5 trustees that are returning to our board after cycling off for a year. They are Joe Abley, Chris Cavalerno, Ian Cross, Mark Sadecki, and Paul Schroeder. We will also like to thank our trustees that are cycling off of the board due to term limits. All of them have donated their time and contributed to MVP in many ways, serving on board committees, participating in special events, our gala, and providing us advice for projects over their tenure. We will be giving them award plaques at a later date, but we wanted to thank them tonight for their incredible service. They are Mike Brown. Mike has been involved with MVP for many years, serving on our executive committee as chair of the nominating committee, and he was a tremendous help in the updating of MVP's bylaws. Thank you, Mike, for your service. David Kennedy has been actively a part of MVP for decades, serving in multiple positions and committees, including the Investment, Finance, Development, and Executive Committee. We're very grateful for your commitment and support, and thank you again, David. And Janet Lebrecht. Janet has been on our board following her term as commissioner of the Mass Commission for the Blind. She and her husband, Russell, have been living down south, but she has helped MVP with networking opportunities in the tactile graphic areas. Thank you for your service, Janet. And Terry Rupp is a dynamo running marathons and now 100-mile races. He has been actively involved with NBP's development committee and has been a great supporter and participant in NBP's Braille Across America fundraiser. Thank you for your support, Terry. And I'd just like to thank each of them because, I took on this role just a couple of years ago as a board chair and have had just tremendous support, and people with many years of experience have given me tremendous guidance over the last couple of years, and I appreciate it. We're going to move on now and talk about our Touch of Genius Prize. 16 years ago, NBP created the Touch of Genius Prize, which is awarded annually for an innovative idea or project that supports Braille and tactile literacy. This year, we have a really interesting product, and I am going to ask Brian McDonald to give some background on the prize and to introduce this year's Touch of Genius Award winner.
Thank you, Danny. Hi, everybody, and hello to the people remotely. So the Touch of Genius Prize for Innovation was originally founded with the support from the Gibney Family Foundation. Over the years, it has evolved to be a global prize that attracts innovators in the fields of education, technology, engineering, tactile graphics, and literacy. Applicants have submitted projects for developing hardware devices, tactile gadgets, instruments and software apps for Braille and tactile learning. It's the only prize, I believe, in the world to foster and reward innovation in the area of Braille and tactile literacy for the blind and deafblind communities. We're very grateful to the Lavelle Fund for funding us. It was instrumental this year in funding our prize and our award. And an all-star team of adjudication committee members that have been with us for 16 years, volunteering their time, dedicating their travel and resources to be part of our committee to look at these wonderful, amazing projects that come to light. And they help us determine a winner every year. This year, I'm really excited to introduce Gregory Hargraves, who with his team of colleagues that are all engineering graduates from the Imperial College of London. Hello, Greg, I see you on our screen. What is so amazing and exciting about this product called the Page Connect is it's taking an old mechanical product, the traditional Perkins Braille typewriter, Braille writer, and converting it using this new product to have a digital output. It's quite incredible, and I'm not going to take away Greg's thunder, but we're very interested, like we have with many other products that have come across the Touch of Genius award process, to work with them, to bring it to market and help them distribute it around the world. If you think about it, the Perkins writer, there are other ones too that Greg can talk about, but I think there's about 400,000 of them in the world that are still in service. And if you look at developing countries where we get calls and requests for repairs and even just paper that they can type with, because some countries don't have anything, to be able to take this and convert it the way Greg will describe is amazing, because I don't care where you are in the world, most people have smartphones or access to some kind of technology that this could work with, even if they don't have other types of technology. So I think it's amazing. Greg, I'm really grateful. It's what, 5 after 11 your time in England. So thank you for staying up to talk to us tonight and give your presentation. We're anxious to hear about it. And after you're done, we'll allow questions and answers from our audience live and those remote. But thank you very much. Congratulations again. It's been a pleasure working with you, and our committee really enjoyed it. So go away, go for it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is quite late, so I might be talking quietly to not wake anyone up. I've got one of the new PageConnect boards here actually, and I've prepared a short presentation. I'll just see if I can share my screen. Let's see if it wants to let me. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
You may have to, okay. So the UN defines Braille as a means of communication and therefore essential in freedom of expression and access to information. Communication is the act of giving, receiving, and sharing information, and it's not possible without mutually understood signs and symbols. Our team believes that Braille is literacy and is dedicated to achieving Braille communication worldwide. To write Braille, people currently emboss paper using a Braille writer, which has sold 395,000 units worldwide and has been hailed as the best machine ever invented to teach students Braille. However, the information produced cannot be easily stored and shared or understood by people who cannot read Braille. One parent stated that they feel that they are suddenly no longer a part of their child's literary life, and teachers have reported to us that students fall behind because Braille takes so long to translate that by the time it gets back to the teacher, the class has moved on. We aim to change this. Our team is building PageConnect, an affordable adaptation for Braille writers. PageConnect is posted to the user and requires a one-time installation. People swap the base of their Braille writer with the PageConnect board, which records key presses as they emboss paper. Once set up, you can scan a QR code to view the print translation on a phone, tablet, or laptop. Our web app opens in any browser and can translate contracted and uncontracted Braille using Libly. This enables instant collaboration between blind and sighted peers, parents, and teachers. Our web app can also be navigated with a screen reader. This makes PageConnect easy to adopt, as it can be controlled with the device, browser, and screen reader the user is already comfortable with. Additionally, as Braille is a tactile medium, it can be challenging to teach remotely, a problem that was highlighted by the recent pandemic. PageConnect could enable remote Braille education by allowing users to screen share what they're embossing on Braille. PageConnect also produces digital copies of the Braille that is embossed on paper in BRF format. There is a file system on the web app for downloading files, and there is also an SD card underneath that can be removed and inserted into a Braille display for further editing. The economies of scale remain a challenge for assistive tech, and high prices make it less accessible, affordable, and available. As engineers, we've made sure that PageConnect can be produced economically in both small and large quantities to ensure a low price. And at Page, we are committed to making Braille technology more affordable and accessible for everyone. We're currently testing PageConnect with schools across the UK, and our software is open source. We also support over-the-air software updates, which enables us to rapidly iterate our software in response to feedback. As engineers without lived experience of sight loss, it's crucial that we work in close collaboration with people who use Braille. We're so pleased that PageConnect has been awarded the Touch of Genius Prize. The Page team believes that Braille should be accessible to everyone, and the National Braille Press has embodied this mission for almost a century. We'd like to thank the judging committee for their tireless efforts to push the boundaries of innovation in this field. Thank you very much. And you can find us at pagebraille.com and at pagebraille on most social media. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Greg. It is amazing what he described and how you can take an older technology that's mechanical and convert it pretty much to anything you want to do with it from a digital world now. And it's amazing. And I can tell you, we talked to him when we were testing it, Amy and I, my assistant Amy, and we actually downloaded the latest version of it while we were testing it with him. It was very fast and easy, and it's seamless. It just is so easy to do once you put it. And it was easy to install, even just taking out some screws on the base and putting his board in. Quite amazing. So I think it's the most amazing. I love that it can help. Our Center for Braille Innovation that we created a long time ago is all about exactly what Greg talked about. Leveraging new technologies to support the blind community, making it affordable, open source, all the things that we care about so that other people can benefit and grow with it and utilize it is exactly when I saw this, I felt right at home, like this guy's exactly what we want to do. So you and your team, Greg, congratulations. I know you have other members from Imperial College that helped you with this. But you were the applicant and you're the ones that we were giving you the credit to. But thank you very much. Do we have questions from this audience for Greg? I have, Chris, can you have a mic with you, Chris?
Yes. We have some questions from the chat online. Someone said, is there anything in particular that inspired you to adapt to Braille?
The project started quite a long time ago. So we all went to the same university and we were approached by a charity called the Kilimanjaro Blind Trust. And they kind of introduced us to the world of Braille and the problems with the assistive tech and how expensive it all is. And so we started with a really ambitious project to make a sort of low-cost Braille display. And this was our how the project evolved. And then we realized we could do something much more affordable, just installing it in these existing Braille writers that are kind of used, and everyone who we've spoken to has used them at some point when they were learning Braille.
Yeah, it's amazing. Anybody in the audience here or remotely, Chris, if you have any others for questions?
Hi, Greg. I'm actually one of the judges and was totally amazed with your product. It was wonderful. My question is, will it be able to translate math accurately at some point?
We need to look into that. So at the moment, it's doing UEB grade 1 and grade 2. We could definitely extend it to other languages using library tables. We know that it's going to probably be a bit more challenging to do things like spatial maths and things. And I know there's been a lot of work done with the American Printing House with Braille Blaster around maths. So we need to look into that, but it's not currently, but we want to.
No surprise there. I mean, everything you're doing, even if it's not done yet, is coming ahead. And for the audience reference, we're very interested, obviously, in working with Greg and his team. He still is not ready for prime time because he has to get it certified with CE and FCC and things like that for consumer safety. So hopefully that won't take real long, but in the meantime, we'll keep in touch, Greg, and go from there. Oh, we have another question.
Hi.
Oh, wait, Bill, let's get the microphone so Greg can hear you. Hold on 1 second. We'll get you, Sherry, too.
Oh. My question is, has How Press at Perkins School been involved in the development of your device, or will there be any collaboration in the future?
I think I'll have to relay that. Or Gene, could you hold the mic one more time for Bill?
Want me to relay?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, Bill just asked how involved was Perkins in your collaboration?
We haven't, so the project originally came from the Kilimanjaro Blind Trust. We've not had contact with Perkins, but we'd be very open to. So if any of them want to reach out, we'd love to talk. we did it just by buying an old Perkins on eBay, and we sat there and we 3D printed things to make sure everything fit perfectly and didn't touch anything inside or damage or change the operation of it in any way. And so it shouldn't cause any problems with the Perkins. But yeah, we would love to have involvement from Perkins if they're willing.
And Greg, just to continue on, yes, the design was based on the Perkins Braille, but I think I've read or talked to you, maybe I forget now, that you've looked at other types of Braille as far as making it fit to other bases of other types of Braille, Braille writers. Is that correct?
Yeah, we went for the classic Perkins because it's the most widely used as our sort of first goal.
Yep. One more question. Hold on one second.
Hi, my name is Sherry Hutcherson, and I'm mom to a blind child. He's 12, and he still uses the Perkins Brailler. He has not started with AT yet. And so I see huge opportunities for this. And I'm just curious, you were talking about your test market. You said that you're piloting it in local schools. Are those public ed schools? Or are they school for the blind? Or both?
So we started off with a really great school in the UK called New College Worcester, and that's a specialist school, and they've got about 50 Braillers in the school. The strongest response we've had, though, is from mainstream schools, and they're really keen to use it just because they have to relay the information to sighted teachers, and it's quite slow and laborious for them. So that's why we've started focusing on like mainstream schools. But we're also really keen to talk to parents and support Braille use at home, because we know it can be challenging for parents who don't know Braille to try and support their child reading and writing. But yeah, we just have gone for these mainstream schools first because they're the ones who are kind of biting our arms off for it, really desperate to use it. So we went for the easy kind of customers first.
Yeah, I think that's a really good observation on your part. And I can tell you, I see so many opportunities for this across, not just the United States, but abroad in the world. And I will say again, we'd love to work with you when the time is right, and we'll keep in touch. But thank you for the late hour of being here tonight, and we appreciate you giving a great presentation. And we'll keep in touch. But congratulations again, Greg. Thank you, and to your team.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Have a good night. Okay, so we're going to move on next to the volunteer awards, and I'm going to ask Joe Quintanilla to come up and present those, and we'll go from there. Oh, wait a minute. I was supposed to go next, aren't I? Yeah. Have a seat, Joe. Have a seat, Joe. My goodness. We changed the order, and I completely forgot for a second. I should read my notes. That would be helpful. All right, well, this is where I will give kind of a state of NBP from things that happened last year as well as going forward. So we have a lot going on, but I'll try and give a brief update on some of the highlights and events this past year at National Braille Press. And I want to begin by first recognizing all of our staff at NBP for their resiliency and commitments to our work this past year. Recruiting and staffing is hard enough, as you know, these days. But during our peak season this year, we had 2 people go out on maternity leave, 1 person who had to resign without notice due to a medical condition, and another resigned to go back to school. So we had a few people that just stepped up wearing multiple hats to make us get through the tests and education and business to business as best as they could during a really crunch period. And it made a huge difference, and we got through it. It was a slugfest, but I'm really grateful to their work. And I just want to add also, I sound like I'm a little brown nose here, but I'm really grateful to our board as well. Our board of trustees are amazing. They have such energy and great ideas, and they've been really helpful to me and to our support and commitment to National Braille Press and our mission. So I appreciate it very much for them as well. Okay. Last year at this meeting, I wanted to mention our continued efforts to make our Children's Braille Book Club free for everyone within 5 years. Now we're in year 3, and I'm happy to report that 325 families are now receiving free memberships of books every month. And this is possible thanks to the incredible support of now 3 foundations that have provided us support to expand this historical legacy program. And we're really grateful to that. Similarly, thanks to the support of the Gibney Family Foundation and Reader's Digest Partners for Sight, we started and launched last year a program I mentioned called the Braille Ignition Kits, which really is to support teachers of the visually impaired and paraprofessionals on support with Braille literacy. It has tools and resources and training for teachers that need support in Braille literacy, even accessible technology and STEM concepts. These are free book bags, basically, these kits, introducing books to also how to make a tactographic. We did a book on that too for teachers to learn how to make tactographics for blind children. So that has done really well. We've had great response. It's a huge success. And we've received many testimonials from the last year we sent out 1,400 kits to 49 states. We're missing South Dakota, but we got to find somebody from South Dakota because this year we have 1,400 more kits that we'll be sending out in 3 batches by the end of the year. So it's been a great program we're really proud of, and it's done extremely well and well needed, even as Greg was saying, with supporting public school TVIs and families, that having any support you can for Braille and connections and having digital connections to it, make it easier for teachers as well. Well, now that we're in the post-COVID era, aside from the economy, there are still lingering effects and changes that have impacted our workforce, our culture, and society, as we all know. This was really noticeable with our continued efforts to get back to our in-person fundraising events. Attendance at our gala this past year was down 30% for the in-person venue, but we had a really successful event with our silent auction and a really vigorous live auction bidding between the floor audience and those that were remote, as far as participants go. This year, we're ramping up a number of events, and we were hoping that the return will be more normal than even last year with in-person participation. This year, the gala will be at historic Fenway Park at the new 521 Overlook, which is a great new venue, very big and great views of the outfield and the whole park itself. So mark your calendars for November 17th. We think it'll be a great event. Of course, the Red Sox are going to win the World Series again, so we'll have lots of people attending. But it should be a really wonderful event. We have a really busy summer. I'm just going to move on from that. We have a really busy summer with Lions International Conventions coming in the first 10 days or so, 7 days, July 3rd to the 10th, I believe. And they're projecting 11 to 15,000 attendees. Matthew Richardson is in our audience, who's obviously heavily involved with the Lions. We're hosting 2 international groups with volunteer projects at National Braille Press and 2 more at the Convention Center at a different date. And we're launching the return of our Braille and Brew program on July 7th, which is, we'll have 2 of them back to back at the Harpoon Brewery. And obviously there's a lot of conventioneers in town, but everybody's welcome. And we hope it'll be really the beginning of breaking open our events this coming year. We also are doing our first inaugural golf tournament, which I'm really happy and excited about, at the West Warwick Country Club. It's September 16th. I'm describing now, I see hands waving with excitement, and we are currently booking foursomes now. Is that correct, Joe? Yeah, so go on our website, nbp.org, and you'll see these events posted there, and you can certainly lock in and participate. I think it'll be a wonderful event. It's a Saturday, 2 p.m. start, shotgun format. I want to give a shout out also to our 2 Boston Marathon runners this past April who did a phenomenal job raising $33,000. One of them is Katie Cavallo, and our own trustee, Aaron Connors, who's a veteran marathoner. Both did an excellent job, and congratulations and thank you both. This was also year 3 of our Braille Across America, which we started. Obviously, the COVID period impacted that, and it's been a fun, exciting event that we continue to do now, where people can walk, run, ride, and do 26.2 miles between our birthday, which is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and the Marathon Monday, which is Patriots Day in Massachusetts. So it's a fun event. We had another great year, and we continue to do it from now on, just like our inaugural golf tournament, right? So it's great. I do want to recognize Joe Quintanilla, who'll be coming up in a minute, and the development team. They've done a great job with these events and individual giving and support from foundations and corporate giving as well. So We're really grateful to their work. It's been a great couple of years, so thank you. Okay, our publications department continues to do great work with our products. As I mentioned, the Children's Braille Book Club and the Braille Ignition Kits they manage and distribute for us. But they also continue with our original publications written by blind authors specifically for blind people. We had some new tech platform updates this year, introduction to Chromebooks, iOS basics for the beginning user, lots of Windows 11 compendiums, and we had a really fun tactile graphic book of emojis, which had all the laser cutters we used at work to make these different emojis that you could feel tactily and understand what all these crazy emojis are in the social media world. It sold out right away, and we did another reprint, and that went very fast as well, but it was a huge success. Last week, we also launched with our store a new online platform called Shopify. It's going really well, and it has more accessibility, more user-friendly, and I think it'll really make a significant improvement in the user experience. So that's great. In production, we're restructuring right now to increase efficiency and output, and we continue to hire new staff. I'm going to put a request for anyone listening. We need text readers, we need proofreaders, we need lots of people to help with us. And if anyone wants to, especially work in Boston and be at this talented staff at NBP, please reach out to us. We've also purchased more equipment so that we can handle this output and this capacity, and we're experimenting with some new processes to create different ways to do Braille, as well as tactile printing and print Braille with a new methodology that I think will help to expand not just our education markets and our own publications, but also business to business work too. So there's a lot going on that way. In this restructuring, we're also rebuilding and adding a sales team that would be autonomous in many ways, so that we can spread out and control the communications and efficiencies of our organization. And they'll be working on our education, our tests and textbooks. Again, business to business, which is really a growing market for us. We do work for the Library of Congress still, and periodicals and other areas where we can have them focus on that market and find ways to work with our production department. We have a new, Brian Broaddus is our new head of production, who is here in the audience tonight. And we also have a new person, Amber Percy, who's now managing our transcribers and proofreaders, and working together with these teams. Nicole Noble, now Nicole Tuttle, some of you will know us within our NBP community, is back running our whole new sales operation. So I'm very excited about this new structure and how it will work together, and I think it'll be great. I do want to report officially that National Braille Press as an organization is still financially healthy. We've had another solid year, and we've had many years of success thanks to our team. So in closing, I want to say a couple of things. First, I want to thank our donors and volunteers. We don't receive any federal or state funding as far as grants or anything like that. We're not a service agency in that way. So every donation from you as individuals, family foundations, corporate foundations that support us makes a huge difference to our success, not only for supporting Braille and our mission for Braille and tactile literacy, but also to make things affordable as possible, if not free. And so I thank all of you for that. We keep our products that we do sell at the lowest price possible, and we couldn't do it with all of this kind of support. Last, I'll just say, if anybody in our audience or remotely is coming to Boston this summer or in the months ahead, we do tours all the time. We'd love to have you meet our interesting staff and see the equipment and how fascinating it is to make Braille and tactile graphics. And please let us know. You can book it ahead at any time and 2 weeks notice, but we do pretty good about providing a lot of that support. Thank you very much. I'll stop there, but now we'll introduce Joe Quintanilla to talk about our volunteer awards. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Brian. It's my honor to present our volunteer awards this year. The first volunteer award is for the Sue Amater Individual Volunteer Award. Sue Amater was a longtime supporter and trustee of National Braille Press, a person who really rolled up her sleeves and did anything and everything she could to support Braille literacy, Braille advocacy, Braille production. This year, the award goes to Judy Steiner. And in a couple seconds, Judy, I'll ask you to come up. Judy Steiner has been volunteering at National Braille Press for 6 years. Initially, she was volunteering at events like our gala, our Braille and Brew. Over the last year, though, she has come into our building on a weekly basis, sometimes multiple times a week, almost for full-time shifts, helping collate books, put together caravan blocks, write notes for our donors with me, answer the phone. There isn't anything that Judy wouldn't be willing to do for Braille literacy and give of her time and advocacy. And she's always when she comes to NBP, she's ready to roll up her sleeves, has always a smile on her face, always asking, what else can I do? How else can I help? So Judy, congratulations on this award. And if you wouldn't mind coming up, I'd love to give this to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll have a picture taken.
I don't mind.
Yeah, right. Well, come on up.
You stole my thunder. Yes, I've been doing this for over 6 years. And a few weeks ago, Joe called me and said, would you be willing to accept this award? And I was like, oh, really? Okay. But yeah, I've been with the Braille Press for over 6 years, and I tried to think of what my first project was. I think it was collating with the Northeastern team. And then there's the State Street group that comes in and we do the children's books. But yeah, I really enjoy the galas. Those are a lot of fun. I am there often. It's like a family to me. I enjoy the mission, and a lot of people haven't heard of it. I'm always talking about it. I'm always carrying a book around. But when I mention the family, I walk in and introduce myself. Hey, I'm Brian's mom. Everybody thinks Brian McDonald. No, that one over there. And he's going to hate me for saying that probably. But I really appreciate, you'll see, I'm almost like a full-time employee, but it's more fun being a volunteer. So I will let you continue. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it and look forward to keep working some more.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Joe.
Our second volunteer award goes, it's our community group volunteer award, which traditionally has gone to a corporate group or a civic community group. But this year, we're changing it up a little bit because of the impact they've had on National Braille Press. So this year, the community group award is going to the Richardson family, and we'll ask you to come up as a family. The reason why we're giving this award to the Richardson family is because they have been so instrumental in the success of Braille across America over the last 3 years. The first part of it was when we started to put this idea of Braille across America together. The patriarch of the family, Tom, was very involved in helping us develop the concept, encouraging us to raise the bar as to how much money we should ask people to raise. Very optimistic as to how many people we could sign up. I remember distinctly, he said, I know you can get 100 people with no problem. We had 170 people that first year. Second, he got his family involved. Their inspiration is their Allie, Tom and Liz's daughter, Jesse and Matt's sister. And she is a powerful advocate for Braille and enthusiasm. And they were able to generate a lot of press around their involvement. And Allie's a great spokesperson for Braille literacy. Over the last 3 years, they've raised over $37,000 for National Braille Press and Braille literacy. They have helped us gain over 300 new donors from their networks. Tom is and Liz are in the sales world, and their kids is as well. So there's something there in those genetics, because they have no problem making that ask and reaching out. But they've also been really good mentors when we've had our Zoom meetings for our participants, and we send out the link to those who can attend. They have wonderful advice on how to go about fundraising. Sometimes I follow their advice myself. Most recently, we were able to and had the honor to nominate Tom for the Meyercraft Patriots MVP Award, Community Award. And Tom was selected as one of the 26 Meyercraft MVP Community Award winners, which resulted in National Press getting an additional $10,000. I've known Tom for over 20 years in different aspects. I've run with Tom for many, many years. But when I came to National Braille Press, he was someone that I called to assist us with our blindfold challenge. If we had a blind runner or a blindfolded runner to guide, Tom was the person to call because I felt he was the person to be the best guide and keep someone safe and learn. And then when I have ideas that I need to bounce off of someone when it comes to fundraising, Tom is one of those people. And now I can call on Jesse and Matt and Liz and Allie. So congratulations to the Richardson family. If you wouldn't mind coming up and accepting this award. And I forgot Harper. Sorry about it, Harper.
She raised nothing. Other side.
Yep, be in front of the banner here. Thank you. Congratulations to the
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful family.
Congratulations. Tom, would you like to say a few words or?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Are you standing up here, Joe?
Yes.
All right. So if you thought you were getting home before dark, think again. I've got about 90 minutes worth of material here. So anyway, so as Joe mentioned, kind of our journey with Braille began really, 30 years ago now. But when Liz and I made it, there's probably like in your whole life, there's maybe 5 important decisions you make. And one of them was for Allie to learn Braille. And so, Liz taught Allie Braille along with this awesome Braille teacher, Dr. Lori Hudson. And like they did great, and it was like an overwhelmingly great thing. So like if somehow like again, Lori couldn't have been enough, but Allie was also like a really awesome student. So not only did she, could she participate or do things in terms of schoolwork, whatever, but she became an expert on the Nancy Drew mysteries. She could learn about the new Eminem album on her Braille edition of Rolling Stone magazine and tell us the world's worst jokes in the joke magazines or the joke books she would get. So like Braille was like an overwhelmingly awesome experience for us. And that's why I think that when Joe called us and asked us to participate in Braille Across America, it's like really, really important to us. And what I wrote down, and I think what I've tried to tell some of the fundraisers when we've done the thing is that people really do want to help. If they feel good about the cause, they'll help, because people, I think, are inherently generous. And as long as you feel that you're asking for something that is valuable and it's going to help people, just ask for it. All they can say is no, right? Like that's the worst thing that can happen. So for the Meyercraft thing was really great, but I think it was much more a reflection of you guys as an organization on National Braille Press, and also the generosity of the donors. And then the other thing that's really cool about this in terms of the family, as far as the award, is that again, like Jesse and Matt have done awesome. You can applaud for them because that stops me from crying. And I'm really proud of them picking up the mantle, because I think it's really important, right? Is that, that there's a new generation of people who come in because the again, you just need to kind of keep that churning and kind of meet that happening. So I did want to say something in terms of Joe, who's still up here. So Joe, how many people really know Joe? Raise your hands if you really know him. Oh my God. So when we drove, so Joe and I, again, we've known each other for a long time, and as we're driving to the stadium, like, if you talk politics with Joe, number one, it's a real problem. Secondly, because I almost threw him out of the car 3 different times on the ride to Foxborough. The only thing, Joe, again, I run with Joe, and so the one good thing about running with Joe is when we start to talk about politics, and I think a few may have heard this, is that Joe's had some injuries, so I probably run a little bit faster with him, than he does right now. And if I don't want to hear him anymore, what I do is I just pick up the pace till he can't talk. And then it's just a monologue of me going back, kind of telling him what I think. But Joe's been awesome, and we wanted to kind of make sure that that he was acknowledged in the same way in terms of kind of bringing us into the race. You look at the challenges that the blind community has. It's a lot. So but I think Joe kind of accepted the challenge and didn't look back. Right? He ran track at Cambridge Rigid in Latin. He went to BC, graduated BC, and he's been part of organizations that have kind of promoted enablement for the community. And I find him selfless. I find him just, again, like a really great force, to do that. So and not only has he done that, I think, with the Braille organizations, but he's also done that. I think you're aware that Joe started his own beatball team, right? Boston Strong. And in terms of not only enabling people but now we're enabling them kind of physically as well as in terms of Braille. So like, it's a real cool thing, right? So what we chose to do is that we were in Braille across America, we were given the opportunity to do an inscription. So what we have asked for, one of the inscriptions is to, in honor of Joe Keaton and his wife Gina, and all they have done to best enable others in mind and body. So if you're able to, stand up and give Joe a round of applause. So much. And you'll get home before dark. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Richardson family, all of you. The most heated argument that Tom and I had was about Nomar Garcia Parra 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So I knew numbers number 5, and we got into the reason why, and whoo, that was heated. Nomar Garcia Parra, but thank you so much. I'm touched and honored, and I appreciate your friendship. Tom's also a singer. Look up Les Vincent on Amazon, and you'll be impressed.
Can I say something about that? Since you brought it up, this thing is awesome, but this is the serious thing. So if you write this down, I did 8 tracks that you can find on Amazon or whatever. But if you go to bananarecords.net, write it down. That's how you start to read it or something. Write it down. Is that anybody who orders tonight, we will donate every dollar we get to National Braille Press.
Thank you, Tom.
So, okay.
Yep. I'm not sure what else to say other than Danny, you can close out the evening, but thank you, Tom.
Okay, quite a day, quite an evening. I'd like to thank everyone for their attendance, both on Zoom and in person. Congratulations to all of our award winners, both here and abroad. It's been a great night. I think it shows a lot to see, the number of people here and the number of people that have continued to support us and be involved in. Everybody be safe going home. Some of us are going out to dinner, and thank you again. Have a great night.